20% off obviously represents psychological pricing. We dropped, as Troy said earlier, our price is originally $25, but with that extra 20% off, it's just going to be that 20 bucks in your pocket. Like one bill you're going to hand over, and you're going to get the full experience of enhancing your child's game. Our advertising includes the banner, the directional signage that I mentioned about when you're coming up to the entrance, directing you where our booth is at the tournament. And then the corresponding one will be set up at our booth so you can see. We wanted to relate the two together, and we wanted to make them big, bright colors and the bold logo, because there are going to be a lot of kids at this tournament, and we want to raise their curiosity and get their attention, draw them over to our booth to see the product for itself. And then I'll hand it back to Troy to talk about PR.
Okay, so also utilizing this public relations aspect of the campaign, this is mostly going to be through one major component, which is our sponsorship of the tournament. Now, we are an up-and-coming company, about to enter the introduction stage of our life cycle. So we're not big on funds, but we are, as our mission statement said, not just dedicated to profits or anything like that, but also to enhancement of love of the game among skills. So we want to show basically the baseball community that we are community-driven, family-oriented. It was started by a local firefighter who just loved the sport and wanted to make his kids, the kids, anyone that wanted to use this product better. So we want to kind of reflect that in our actions at these types of events. So we're going to do that by donating the baseballs that will be used during the gameplay of the tournament, throughout the 8-day tournament. And as well, we will be donating as kind of like a congratulations for making it this far to each of the teams that get there, one free Skyn unit to each team that goes, so that they can kind of see our product and just get something for really making it this far, which is quite an accomplishment. That means they're the champions of all their regions in California so far. So we will obviously get something in return for this in the form of brand recognition, because we will be included, as Kate mentioned earlier, on t-shirts. Our name will be on the sponsorship t-shirt. The commemorative t-shirt will have the tournament name, the teams participating on front, and then on the back, the list of all the people who have contributed to making the event possible. And then, as well as that, we'll have the tournament website, we'll have our logo on the sponsors list, and we'll also be by the registration page. So you can go ahead and this. And then the next aspect will be the way we're going to utilize direct marketing. And first and foremost, we need to increase our presence on social media. There currently exists a Skyn Facebook shown on the left, but it is pretty much non-existent in the eyes of its target market. No one knows it's there, no one uses it, no one uses it to stay connected to the new developments in the product. So first of all, that needs to change, the Facebook first. We want to use the Facebook to connect with people who come to this event. That way we can make sure that they stay up to date on the latest in what we're doing, the promotions we're offering, and also any sort of benefits we're adding to our previous customers in order to encourage them to stay with us and really build long-lasting relationships. In addition to that, it will increase word-of-mouth marketing, which is, in this kind of baseball community, everyone's at these tournaments every weekend together. They really get to know each other. So if one family adopts us as a company to help improve their child's game, we feel that word of mouth will be one of the strongest ways that we can get that to spread, at least within each community. And we really just need to make that kind of a presence in each of the baseball communities throughout the country, eventually. Of course, we're starting out local. And then after Facebook has been developed, we'd like to move on to Instagram and Twitter, but those are a little farther down the road, like really getting those connected with all our customers. And then the second aspect of direct marketing will be the public service announcement that Kate mentioned also earlier. So what that's going to be is a couple times during the 8 days of the tournament, we're going to get our name, just kind of one of those thank you to our sponsors type of announcements over the broadcast system in between games when everyone's kind of walking around without much to do, hopefully encouraging them to go visit our booth. And it's going to sound something like this. We would like to thank one of our sponsors, Skyn, who helped make this tournament possible. Now it's our turn to show our support, so make sure you visit the Skyn booths today and receive 20% off of your purchase of the next big thing in swing performance enhancing equipment. You can also visit their website at batskyn.com or like them on Facebook and Instagram to find out more information. Skyn, building growth. Okay, and so that concludes really the promotional aspects of our campaign, but what we need to do then is analyze, did it work? And We intend to do this in one major way. It's pretty easy for us, to be honest, because this is a company without much sales, so comparing it won't be that difficult. We're going to see what we sold so far, and then in the 3 months following the tournament, we intend to measure sales once again and just see if obviously we intend to see a sales spike at the time of the tournament itself, but do we maintain those sales? Is that word of mouth marketing really taking hold and keeping our sales going up? And so that's what we intend to do, is measure sales for the 3 months following the event. And we feel that that will be a good way to tell if we achieved all 3 of our objectives, which, if you remember, were brand awareness, buyer confidence in our product, and sales themselves. So that one figure should be a pretty good projection of whether or not we achieved all 3 objectives. Okay, and then next, the timeline. I'll just kind of run you through the way the tournament works. As I said before, it is an 8-day tournament. So prior to the tournament, it's just going to be preparation, building inventory. It's going to take a while since it is a company without significant capital backing. So January 1st to July 1st, just waiting for the tournament to take hold, getting the presentation tables together, the blow batting cages, building up all the inventory necessary to be sold there. July 1st will be the day where the sponsorship page is updated, the tournament website is updated to show the new schedule, the new sponsors, and that's when our name will first be posted and associated with the tournament. On August 1st, the Skyn booth, that is the first day of the tournament, the Skyn booth will officially become operational, and the sales representatives will begin touring the park, discussing our product with potential customers and leading them to our booth so that their kid can try out our product in the batting cage. And then on August 3rd and 4th, we're going to have everything going the same, but we're also going to get those 2 radio broadcasts we talked about, and hopefully really just get that middle of the week crowd to keep going over, because it's going to be kind of a slower day. The way it works is I believe that is a Tuesday and a Wednesday. And then they take off a few days for the tournament, and then the final day of the tournament will be on August 9th. That is the championship day. That will be the last day of our Skyn booth, but we will not have sales representatives walking around on that day. We don't want to interfere with parents trying to watch their kid compete for the championship. And then following that will be 1 week later. We intend to send emails to everyone who visited our booth and provided it to us in exchange for that coupon. We're going to just basically ask them, are they happy with their purchase? Do they want to keep receiving emails? Most importantly, we don't want to badger any of our potential customers. And hopefully just keep that long-lasting relationship going with some of these new customers that we're finding. And then September to December is just going to be analyzation of profits preceding that, or following that tournament, and then deciding if we want to continue doing things like that or move in a different direction with a different type of campaign proposal. And then finally is our budget. As you can see, it's not very expensive, because as I mentioned, we are not a very expensive company. Basically, our budget strategy was just go with the bare bones of what's necessary to get our name out there at this tournament. We didn't do anything excessive from what we thought. We did the donation, but really the most substantial cost on our budget was the cost of inventory itself, which is hopefully going to pay off, since it cost $7 and we sell it for about $25. So we're hoping that that inventory pays off, but that really is our biggest investment other than the blow-up batting cage, things like that. We really just needed directional signage, people to walk around, spread the word, and then with the radio announcement and things like that, we feel like it's a small enough place that this amount of budget will be very efficient in getting our message across for the lowest cost possible.
In addition to that, we actually decided on the big blow-up batting cage as one of our biggest investments, because up to, more than 70% of our primary research showed that our target market is more likely to buy this type of product if they can see it actually used, and they can physically touch it and see it demonstrated. So that's why we decided to do that.
And that would be it, so thank you.
Any questions? Shane?
So does this mean that you really can't use gloves anymore when you play? Because I know a lot of when you're up to bat, a lot of people like to wear gloves when they're hitting. So I don't know if that's going to. I mean, is this saying that you don't need gloves anymore?
Well, I mean, that's just completely preference, really. I mean, if you like the feel of gloves on a handle, I don't see why you wouldn't like the feel of gloves on the bat sitting bat. It would actually be softer if anything else.
Well, that's what I was saying. Is it's like you're talking about the feel of the actual grip itself, but if you have gloves on, that becomes irrelevant.
Not necessarily, because did you get it when it passed around? The shape of it, there's nowhere else to grab it. It just feels awkward if you try and put the edges on the inside of your hands. So really, there's only one place to grab it, which is one of the edges goes into your thumb, and the other one, your fingers wrap with your knuckles align the outer ridge, which is the design. Because if you have, if anyone has ever played baseball in here, you know, like, it drops your elbow if you start to twist your wrist the wrong way, and so by keeping the fingers right there is really all it's trying to do, because it keeps the bat level as it comes through.
So it's more about hand placement than anything.
Yeah, without regard to comfortability. I mean, it is probably more comfortable than a normal grip. Yeah.
When you said there was an adhesive that you can, that helps apply the bat skin and then it just stays on, can you at any point, like, let's say you want to get a new bat and like use the bat skin on that bat, can you take it off, or would you have to buy a completely new bat skin?
Yeah, it is, you'd have to buy it again because it's an insulation. It becomes a part of your bat. It's guaranteed for the life of the bat it is on, but that's one of the benefits of having it be a cheaper product is that, and also one of the things is if you could interchange it too easily, the company wouldn't be able to do much business, but essentially it becomes that permanent part, and as you go, you buy a new one each year, which is really what we're hoping for with people 5 to 11-year-olds turning, growing, getting older, and needing new one.
Right, and that's also the biggest difference between our competitor. Our competitor is you have to buy their bat in order to get the grip, and with this, you can actually choose whatever bat you want, your bat preference, and then put our product on it, which is an advantage.
So what kind of wood bat?
Any form of bat, as long as it's regulation handle size, because it's made with a certain diameter to fit over it, but generally if you can use it in a game, it'll fit on it. The bat.
Since it makes you so much better, would kids be allowed to use it like during the Little League games, or or is it like strictly a training thing? Does it give them an advantage? Well, I mean, it obviously does.
Yeah, well, that's the idea. It's not illegal because the only regulation with regard to Little League and how high it can go up on the bat.
Oh.
It can't go past a certain point, but it's the way it's designed is it's designed to sit within that length requirement, and so it's perfectly legal in the game as well.
And it gives you good habits for using a regular bat.
Sorry?
It gives you the habit of holding it the right way for a regular.
That's the idea, to train you so by the time you're done with Little League, you won't necessarily, you can still use it if you wanted to, because there's no level where it's not allowed, but the idea is it'll train you to have your wrist automatically go to that angle, which is optimal.
Does it come in different sizes?
No, like I said, most bats are pretty standard in handle size, no matter how big the length of the head of the bat is, so it fits all Little League bats and softball.
So the same bat that like a 5-year-old would use, it would fit that bat, and also like an 18-year-old. Aren't they they get bigger?
They extend the barrels.
Yeah.
They don't extend the handles, because that's
Yeah,
the law.
but didn't you say that the length, it couldn't go up past a certain point?
On the bat, it's
Right,
like
so
literally, there's a
basically-
literal line on a lot of the Little League bats where it can't go past, and it won't on anything that is regulation for Little League.
So handle size is always standard, that doesn't change, only barrel size changes.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So, just like, are you guys only marketing towards like boys Little League? Or are you guys gonna do like girls softball?
Our research showed that that would be our most optimal customer, and that's why we've kind of been targeting it, but it works for softball too.
So if you guys like, do like this first round and it sells really well with them, then you see.
Yeah, because it has no market presence. So the idea is we're hitting the people that our research shows are the most likely to buy it first. And then once you get there, you can start expanding into all sorts of markets. You can just do the recreational user that's an adult even, who never learned proper form. But to really just make sure we're cost efficient, we're going after the most likely buyers first. Yeah.
So why wouldn't you guys market to like actual bat companies? Because I know that some bats actually make the actual grips. They have the grips on them already when you purchase the bat. So why wouldn't you just market your product to those bats as almost like a training bat?
Well, like I said, that's kind of the advantage of against our competitor is you get to pick your preference of bat. And if we paired up with an actual company, then we would have to use their bat and it would stay on theirs. So by just marketing to the people themselves, they can choose the bat that they want.
Anybody else?
All right, good job.